Hi, I'm Gianni Valentine, and today I'm in the heart of North Beach in Jack Kerouac Alley. Today, I'll be telling you a little bit about Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac Alley is an alleyway in North Beach, San Francisco, California. Jack Kerouac was an American poet born in Lowell, Massachusetts. Jack played football in high school and was a star on his team until he got sidelined and stopped playing. Jack Kerouac was part of the beatnik movement of poets, which means self-styled as a beat. Beatniks express their feelings from a conventional or square society by adopting an almost uniform style of seedy dress, manners, and different vocabulary words borrowed from jazz musicians.
Jack Kerouac Alley is located next to a few points of interest, one of them being our school, St. Peter and Paul Salesian School. Jack Kerouac Alley has a mural with Mexican art designs. Since October 1999, the mural Vida y Sueños de la Canada Perla, Life and Dreams of the Perla River Valley, has been on the wall of the City Lights bookstore that faces Jack Kerouac Alley. St. Peter and Paul School is one of the points of interest in the neighborhood of Jack Kerouac Alley. It is commonly thought that Joe DiMaggio was married to Marilyn Monroe in this church, but actually he married his first wife, Dorothy Arnold, who was also an actress.
Here on Russell Street in Russian Hill is where Jack Kerouac stayed with his fellow writer and friend Neil Cassidy. The significance of this house is the time he spent here is part of his experiences in his book, On the Road.
City Lights bookstore is the bookstore where Jack Kerouac's literary works are. Reason being his works are in the bookstore is because of Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Lawrence was a beat publisher for Beat Books. He also founded the City Lights bookstore to house the Beat movement's work and was responsible for selling Kerouac's books. This is a very important store because it doesn't only have Jack Kerouac's work in it, but it also is very important because it has all of the beatnik movement works of literature. It was created for the beat movement and has pieces of history in it. This is Vesuvio. It was Jack's favorite bar. It is right next to the City Lights bookstore, and Jack hung out in both of those places. Cafe Trieste is where Ginsberg and Jack wrote their books, On the Road and Howl, and other famous people of the time hung out here. As an aside, years later, the movie The Godfather was written in this cafe also. Jack Kerouac has left an impact on us today. He has created many great works. His work has been one of the reasons the entire beatnik movement existed. His works include The Town and the City, On the Road, Dr. Sachs, The Dharma Bums, Mexico City Blues, The Subterraneans, Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, The Sea is My Brother, and Big Sur. These books have left a mark on us. If you are interested in the Beat movement, the Beat Museum is a cool little museum nearby Jack Kerouac Alley. You can learn all sorts of information about the Beat generation and about Neil Cassidy, Jack Kerouac, and other beatniks. So why does Jack Kerouac deserve an alleyway to be named after him? The biggest reason Jack deserves a street named after him more than Allen Ginsberg and William S. Burroughs or any other of his beatnik friends is because his book, On the Road, was the most popular book made in the 1950s. On the Road, in the first chapter, talks about Jack's adventures in San Francisco and living with Neil Cassidy. I believe that these are good reasons for Jack to have an alleyway named after him.
So in the last page of On the Road, I describe how the hero, Dean Moriarty's come to see me all the way from the West Coast just for a day or two. We've just been back and forth across the country several times in cars, and now our adventures are over. We're still great friends, but we have to go into later phases of our lives. So there he goes, Dean Moriarty, ragged in a moth-eaten overcoat he brought specially for the freezing temperatures of the East. Walking off alone, and last I saw of him, he rounded the corner of 7th Avenue, eyes on the street ahead, and bent to it again. Gone. So, in America, when the sun goes down, and I sit on the old broken down river pier watching the long, long skies over New Jersey, and sense all that raw land that rolls in one unbelievable huge bulge over to the West Coast, and all that road going, and all the people dreaming in the immensity of it. In Iowa, I know by now that children must be crying in the land where they let the children cry. And tonight the stars will be out, and don't you know that God is Pooh Bear? The evening star must be drooping and shedding her sparkler dims on the prairie, which is just before the coming of complete night that blesses the earth, darkens all the rivers, cups the peaks, and folds the final shore in. Nobody knows what's going to happen to anybody besides the forlorn rags of growing old. Think of Dean Moriarty, I even think of old Dean Moriarty, the father we never found. Think of Dean Moriarty, I think of Dean Moriarty.
Anyway, for the street to be named what it is. It makes
Wait. Okay, go.
Famous founders of the beatnik movement to have a street named after him. Jack Kerouac was just bad.